Now Benjamin just following them all in there. Hopefully he didn't follow him in after he got stuck.
We're actually creating
sound. Wait until he
sound.
was gone, because
They're still waiting for us.
Winnie the Pooh's gonna get in the honey hole, and Benjamin's hungry. There's gonna be some. It's gonna be a fight.
I really worry about how you put that stuff together. I'm with Rhett.
Let's get a.
It's fair. It's a fair evening. Oh man, these guys.
Yo, what's up?
James is up in the mix. Robert Cohen.
We got sound.
Yes.
Good evening, everybody.
It's a big delay.
Big delay.
It was a long weekend, if we're being honest. I don't know.
I'm slow this week.
This is not going to be a.
Apparently, this is
model of speed.
This is to my microphone after pre-show. I understand.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
Fair.
I don't know. Actually, what is that? Do you know? Do you have any idea? I have no idea.
Why is there a wire not plugged in on the table?
It was plugged into Benjamin about 10 minutes ago.
Oh man, I always
it got yanked out, and I heard a terrible scream.
Can they see and hear everything?
Yeah,
hey, hi guys.
We are live.
It was a terrible scream.
Trying to figure out why there's a wire not connected to anything. That sounds like something we do. Sounds like we're getting out to the world. Welcome to Thank God It's Tuesday, the official Washington football team podcast of Hawks Haven. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo, asking you please hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. We don't have any fancy graphics for it still, but you can just click on it, give us a like. When we give you something to like, we think we're going to give you something to like. We appreciate the thumbs up. He's Kevin Ricca.
Hey, don't like that, because that's just not worth it. Just wait till something good happens.
Give him another chance. Yes. Tim Strachan?
Like that it's week one, and we're ready to go.
Oh,
and not like a Kirk Cousins like situation. Totally different.
No.
We appreciate your support. We appreciate you guys coming out on Tuesday night. We appreciate you. It's like a mini break in the NFL season, and it hasn't even started yet. The last 2 weeks, it really we were gearing up, and then it was like, all right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And it's like, all right, I guess you're left.
Last week was excruciating.
It was rough, and I'm just waking up to this idea this week that it is for real. This is like the normal week before our team starts, and college football got the engine running just a little bit, but going live on Thursday night and playing the Chargers on Sunday, we're going to get to all of that. It's happening in less than 7 days now officially, and just to close up a loop. I didn't know, this isn't at the top of everyone's agenda, but I did get a lot of feedback. I have heard from a lot of people this week, comments on Hogs Haven, and people reaching out to me. Yep, irregardless is a word. It's been something we've had fun with.
Now.
Yeah, on Hogs Haven, for as long as I've been writing on Hogs Haven, I've always had fun with that word. And when I first started using it extremely regularly, I freely admit that it wasn't the official
you do use a lot.
wordness as it is now. I like to think I have a small part in helping it be officially recognized, but not without purpose. I think that it is a perfect example of legitimizing, whatever you want to say. I've been talking to people, my friends, that are from other cities, and they still have that notion that the Redskins or Washington football team just isn't that good, isn't that for real, isn't that professional. And I think that perception remains out there. And I think that it's hard to say we just won the division when it's so easy for them to say you were 7-9 in a crappy division. None of that matters. We're better after last year, but that's also why the perception survives. There's not a whole lot of people out there who I have been as up close and personal to why this is different than the last 20 years. And for football reasons, I think we like our chances against the Chargers. But going into a season in the middle of what we've given Ron Rivera the job to do, which is rebuild our organization, rebuild our culture, and make it something that's sustainable, man, I think that's what we're going to see on Sundays. And just, my thesis on the whole thing is what I've been saying for 20 years, the opposite of that, which is all the terribleness, all the shenanigans, all the chaos that has existed under Dan Snyder between Monday and Saturday made its way to the field on Sundays, weekly, annually. It was a clown show, and we're the exact opposite of that now. We are, and we're not just saying it. It's actually, if you care to look, don't take my word for it. It's right in front of you. It's not just the things people are saying; it's the things people are doing. It's the way they're conducting their business. It's the talent they have on the roster. You just saw who they cut, who they kept, and so I think the professional aspect of what Ron Rivera's brought and the culture that he has had now over a year to install, I think now you start to see that on Sundays, and that's something we haven't seen before in the last 20 years.
The national perception is verified in the Vegas odds for the weekend, and I believe there's only one way to make everyone pay for this, Ken. And I am not a gambling man. I'm not. I'm a small time, fantasy guy. I'll throw a couple bucks in here and there, but I'm not someone that says put your money where your mouth is. Like I'd much rather just talk about it, but it's going to be real hard for me not to capitalize on the financial gains that the national public has embraced for the last 2 decades, which is a reason why this line is -1 for the good guys at home.
Well,
and we will get through all these. There's a million points why.
And 8.5 wins on the season.
It just is embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It encapsulates what you just talked about and what the nation feels about us, and that's fine. Nation, go ahead and feel that way.
Yeah,
we haven't really seen you over the last 2 years that much, but they have not witnessed what Ron Rivera's meant. The nation hasn't paid attention to what's going on with the Washington football team. Yeah, they see Chase Young looking like a monster out there, and they're like, ooh, the Washington football team's got a good player. But in their mind, they're like, well, we've seen all this before. Wrong. Erroneous. Incorrect.
Let 'em.
Money where your mouth. Exactly. I don't
care.
care. What I'm saying is, I think we should all put up a bunch of money and just start the season off the right way, boys.
Today was the first time I ever bet on my team.
Because I don't have any money to be thrown up on the football team.
First time I ever bet on my team
I want to badly.
was today.
Aaron,
on
if you're
the
listening out
8.5.
there, we could really do some good this weekend financially.
8.5 wins. I now own 9.
Both bets. I want to make both. I want over 500, and I want this week -1. At the end of this show, I believe everyone here should combine. We should combine forces with the board.
Like a crowd
and
funding
pay our
bet.
own way to Vegas on the first week of the year.
I don't think you can crowdfund a bet.
But
We're
then
about
we
to find
just.
out.
But afterwards, if we lose, every other millennial just asks for money after they lose.
True.
We could just go back and recoup it by the end of the year with a GoFundMe.
GoFundMe.
No.
See? What do you think?
Let them undervalue us. Let them think that they're not good until they meet this defense. That's for sure. And then I think, as you guys said, this team's better. They're better on paper on offense. And they have a capable quarterback who hopefully is not going to, feel like he has to win it all. He just needs to manage an offense with great weapons and a defense that is going to absolutely demolish people. And they're going to go, holy crap. Look, I think the Washington football team is going to be a story 3-4 weeks in. I really do. I think I nationally, I do. Now, is it still the NFC least, as everybody likes to call it? Maybe.
Who cares?
But yeah, that's the division.
We're playing a
have to win.
schedule. Everyone's playing a schedule. Win your division has to happen first. So fine. I don't care about it.
Ask Tom Brady and Tampa if they thought the Washington football team was, not that good last year. They had a pretty tough win.
I don't care about all the crap. I care about us taking advantage of what we know that they don't. Let's frame it
James
up that
Rainey,
way.
AGH.
Let's talk cold
Greg
cash.
Martin, Rhett Donnelly. We have a DJ Six and a Ned Darcy sighting. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight.
Sheesh.
The cool thing about us being a story, because I agree with you, is that the biggest thing people want to say against us in the last month and a half, including Washington fans, is but the schedule's so hard. And I think that's a bunch of horseshit.
That's
But
the worst thing I've ever heard.
that goes
It's an
directly.
NFL schedule.
That goes
Pay
directly. But
attention.
that's why we won't necessarily be judged by the NFC least. And in fact,
True.
we don't play anyone. We have one NFC East game until the last 5 weeks of the season. So us being a story in the NFL is going to be independent of the NFC East, because we won't be anywhere near an NFC East team, until December. And so if we prove ourselves to be a story team, we prove ourselves to be worth our weight
It's
in
either
gold.
going to be Fitzpatrick resurgence or what's going on in Washington, because I think we're going to surprise some people.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree.
Surprise, mother. That's my favorite.
Yes.
Let's do it. And no better time to start it than this weekend. Yeah, take it easy over there on that red wine. It's bottoms up until it's not, until it's over.
Comments from the peanut gallery of your draft, mister. We have a guest drafter in the listening room tonight. So the Chargers. Let's start where we're going to start, and let's get right to it on Sunday. We got Justin Herbert and the formerly San Diego Chargers that never should have left. I still hope they go back.
Really? Like that's something that you hope for?
I do. I like San Diego. I know. I have family in San Diego, and their group of fans are fun when I hang out with them.
Right.
Like Padres, Chargers.
They're doing just fine with the weather and the left coast. Like, let's take it easy, feeling bad for them at any level.
Think of
for
the
God's
Pacific
sake.
Ocean,
Oh my
majestic
God.
sunsets.
I hear it's one of those beautiful places.
Sorry,
Our football team's not winning today. It's like
Maybe
a
they should have
Corona
gone to more
commercial.
games to keep their team there in the beginning.
Exactly, Ken. Maybe your family
You
should
just
have
lost
stopped
to San
surfing
Diego.
so much.
I was going keep it classy, and you were going F yourself. We just went both ways.
Well, it's a big whale's vagina at
It
the end of
is,
the day.
it is,
from what I
indeed.
understand.
I mean, that's why they left, right?
I don't know. Who knows? But I know where they're coming on Sunday, and that's here.
Whoa.
The week one matchup, I think it's always kind of presented itself as maybe. We're not playing the Buccaneers, we're not playing the Packers or the Chiefs in week one, but we're not playing the Jacksonville Jaguars in week one either. I think the Chargers they have some stuff going on. Obviously, their quarterback is, I think, pretty special, and their running back is. And this is my first question. I'll get right to it. Their running back is sneakily one of the best players in the National Football League and has been for the last 3 or 4 years, Austin Eckler. Nobody knows. I don't understand why people sleep on him. He's excellent. He whenever he touches the ball, he produces, and he scores touchdowns on top of that. But
He was hurt last year, so that's part of the napping.
Well, that's part of the napping. But my question for you is, as good as Austin Eckler is, after I say all those nice things about him, isn't he exactly the kind of running back who should never be able to succeed against our front four?
Well, that's not necessarily fair to say.
Okay.
Because there's always ways to scheme a running back against a front four, so to speak. But there's also
7-foot wingspan.
7 other dudes that play defense that are in charge of the running back much more than the front four. But I know what you're saying based on pressure. He's always going to be a release guy. He's always going to get his. I mean, look, man, Austin Eckler, all this, but before we get into it, I just want to say this real quick back to you. I know you love fun with words.
I do.
And I love fun with numbers, and I'm going to have some of that fun tonight like you're going to have with the words. And T's kind of right in the middle of all this. He has fun with words and numbers. I'm the numbers guy. How about this?
Sci-fi guy.
But real quick, both teams went 2-7 to start the season last year. Both teams finished 5-2. Both teams finished up 7-9. They had the same exact record after those 2 times. So that's pretty interesting. Austin Eckler played in a limited amount of games last year. He's going to catch the ball out of the backfield. I mean, the dude, he had 530 yards rushing and 430 yards receiving in a limited amount of time last year. Dude had 65 receptions and 2 touchdowns in the passing game. He's the guy that the sophomore guy's going to be able to check down on. Austin Eckler, as fantasy football people, junkies know, is a producer on the offensive end. And the one thing I'm going to say about this Los Angeles Chargers team is they produce yards at a high clip. High chunk plays with Keenan Allen out there and Justin Herbert the way he is, throwing for 4,300 yards in 15
Mike
games
Williams.
last year. Mike Williams is the next guy up. He's going to have a big year. Austin Eckler, they are yard machines, but where they lack substance is in the red zone and making points happen based on those yards. And that, to me, is the perfect thing for our defense, which gets pretty damn nasty in the red zone. That amount of size, arm span, speed, length that we've compiled over our roster for the last 2 years, that's going to be a big deal against a team that's already struggled that way. I do believe,
and we're talking about their offense. That's
Exactly.
when you talk about the Chargers, that's all that comes to mind.
that's the best part of their team.
It's the best part of their team.
Sure.
Their defense. We should be able to score if we could keep them from capitalizing in the red zone, keep them to field goals here and there. Our defense is built to win a 21-10, 21-12
No doubt.
type
And
game.
their offense is 9th in yards in the NFL, and they're the 18th best team in scoring. So in the lower half in scoring, and in the top 10 in yards. So they're a yard monster, but they're not a monster in the red zone. And guess what? our defense got better. Their offense, I'm sure, progressed, but they also just replaced. We'll talk about some of the guys they lost and who they gained, and they made some fill-ins. But I don't know that they got better. And I got to tell you real quick, it's a whole new staff. It's a whole new staff. I mean, did anyone else know who Brennan Slater was? I believe that's his name. Brandon Slater? Guys, if I say Brandon, sorry.
AC
Brandon AC
Slater.
Staley. Sorry, did I mess it up with Deuce? Brandon Staley's the head coach. I'm going to look into the camera and say this. All of you diehard junkies out there is no chance we have ever had a starting quarterback 16 days older than the opposing team's head coach. And that's happening in town this weekend. In 1982, Brandon Staley was born on December 10th. On November 24th, Fitzmagic was born. Our starting quarterback is older
I love it.
than your head coach. And I'm just saying, I like it.
Look, anytime the strength of the other team is the offense versus our defense in any game, that doesn't scare me at all. I think our defense is going to match up against anybody. The biggest question mark on Washington's defense right now is the linebackers. And if they have a game plan, the game plan should be to stop run first, because that's what the Chargers want to get going.
They can't. They stink at the run.
Then tee it up, put them in third and long situations, and then that's where this defense shines. And you talk about having him as a check down. Well, Herbert's going to need the time to actually get to the check down. That's where Washington, I think, is going to shine defensively, putting opposing offenses in third and long situations, and then just teeing off.
And getting off the field.
Yes.
I'll be excited to see that. I'll be excited to see us match up against that offense because, Kevin said, they are a producing offense in terms of moving the ball, and that's if you look at where we've not been good before this defense was built and established, we gave up yards. Bend don't break. I mean I know every fan in every city at some point in time has been fed the bend don't break, but that was pretty much us for a long time. And that's
the new NFL now, man.
I know it's the new NFL. It's the new on average, but the elite defenses barely bend and never break.
But yards used to be the barometer. Offensive yards was a huge stat before the era of passing.
It's time of possession.
Now, offensive yards is just kind of a glossed over stat.
Because it was harder to get those yards in the old rules.
Yeah, Parcells and
absolutely.
Gibbs and the NFC East, yards came at a premium. So that's when yards were the number one thing. Now I'm sorry, man, it's points.
You can't guard anybody.
Scored.
You can't guard anybody, so they have
time of possession.
They're going to get the yards
based on specific timing. I mean, you have to have an offensive line that can get you that first down like the Hogs always did, but you better have a dude spreading it around the field and a bunch of dudes running 4-4, or else you ain't scoring points in this league anymore. And it's a very easy league to score points in, I believe, based on the new rules and everything else.
And
my point is, yards aren't the new.
That's right. We need to get up. But our
yards is kind of,
and we're elite enough. We're going to be getting off the field. We're going to be getting off the field, in the new era where quarterbacks figured out no one better really than Peyton Manning before he retired, when he figured out exactly how to play this game based on the new rules. If you remember, I mean, those teams scored a crap ton of points, piled up wins, but their defense was garbage.
And lost in the playoffs.
And they lost in the playoffs, and they lost it all.
Every year.
And so I think that's like.
Not every year, guys.
Well.
Super Bowl 42.
Yeah.
Sexy
Go
Rexy.
Smith.
Rexy and Lovey Smith
such
waddled on in.
Boring year.
I loved it.
Super Bowl.
I'm a big Peyton Manning fan, man. He's just a cool cat. He did a shot of Jameson with me at the University of Virginia when he was in college. I'm just telling you, he was not afraid. He was just a nice guy, man.
I'm sure he is.
Like, I feel like Tom Brady isn't going to be there. He's not going to be at that college bar in Charlottesville, Virginia, visiting
If they
his
have
girlfriend.
Ryan Fitzpatrick will be.
avocado vodka,
Tom Brady's
probably
wife would be. I'm going to give him that. She's a down to earth. She's a lady of the people.
All right, so we got some thoughts on the board here talking about what they think our defensive weaknesses are. I think, so Greg's worried about the yards. I think someone else said something about
the yards. The linebackers is my worry.
Giving
have
up.
like three or four
it's the
of
middle
them.
of the defense.
Yeah, man.
Ken Davis.
Giving
Ken
up.
Davis, step up.
And I want to have a conversation about Jamin Davis specifically, but before we do, just
it's gonna be a big test.
Other thoughts on the board regarding what we were talking about before about testing ourselves against the schedule for an entire season without playing the NFC East. And the last obvious point about that is, if we're in any position to do anything, if we think we're somebody, well, what a great way to wrap up a season with teams that you should be better than. Take care, knock out some wins, get in some work. If you've proven yourself against great teams for 2 months, mow down the NFC East. To me, like the storyline of the season could be epic. We could establish ourselves as a solid NFL team in a 2-month span without ever having to rely on wins from the NFC East, and then we could be like, oh, and by the way, we'll be right back. We're just gonna go beat the shit out of some NFC East teams.
Finish them.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna be
wipe
awesome.
our ass real quick.
I think that's
be
cool.
the end of it. I do too.
Yeah,
I agree with that. So, but I hate the schedule talk because in this new NFL, year in, year out, you don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
Like, real quick, San Diego was 7-9 last year. We talked about the schedule. They had the offensive rookie of the year. We had the defensive rookie of the year. We both went 2-5 to start, or 2-7.
So they won the division. They won the division also.
No, they didn't.
Oh.
They didn't. But we were very close on all this. But I mean, to be fair, they now brought in a whole new staff. They got a 38-year-old dude who's been a coordinator for 1 year. He got handed the keys to the LA Rams defense. And I'm sorry, guys, but we know what the general manager did for the LA Rams defense and Sean McVay. I mean, they've got werewolves everywhere. They spent a ton of money. They gave him the keys to it. For 1 year, he finished first across the first or second. I think he was first in yards and points. But I have to look at his name again. Where's that wily bastard's name at? The head coach of the team that's coming to town. Oh, Brandon Staley.
Brandon Staley.
Yes, he was a quarterback at Dayton, and we all know the Dayton stuff is kind of blah, blah, blah. Didn't work out great for us. Thanks, Jay Gruden. But he's going to fly across country for his debut with a first-time D coordinator. We got to get into the O coordinator, though. He's pretty cool. I like him. But, I mean, come on, Ronaldo Hill. Ronaldo Hill's first time. I'm like, we've got Ron Rivera, man. And my point is this, and in a true offseason with everything he's done, and Jack Del Rio and Scott Turner, we've got guys set in place at our place on a team I think is better. And these dudes got to fly across country with a brand new 38-year-old head coach who's not even older than a quarterback.
It's a big deal, man.
It's a big deal.
All of it's a big deal. And you're right. I think if the storyline is anything, there's so much going against LA LA going into this game for those reasons you just mentioned. And here's Washington. We can debate again about the rebuild, the build. Look, Washington's, as you were saying, professional. I think we're going to see a much more professional football team than we even saw a year ago because they all have another year. They've all been in the system now. They've all been under this culture, and I think that's a huge play.
And these guys have it. And how about this? Their head coach is calling their defense. Ronaldo Hill's not calling the defense. He's the defensive coordinator in title only. Brandon Staley's calling the defense. So he's calling everything on a team he's new with. And Ryan Fitzpatrick is on a team that he's brand new with, but he understands this thing. And I think that those are the two guys that are going to be going against you. Of course, we've got the whole Scott Turner calling the plays, but out there, and this is Brandon Staley's young ass going up against Ryan Fitzpatrick's old ass in the war of brains out there, and I love that.
I'll take the old ass any day.
Hey, man, I always take old ass, especially now that we're getting to be the old ass.
Okay.
Like, you and me are so much older than
We
both
were
of
on
these
the
two
same
old
page,
asses.
Will.
We're calling these two 38-year-olds old asses, and you just turned 46 over the
Yeah, I
weekend
did.
with your
I
old ass.
did.
All right.
My old ass is about to get there. I know, you're done with old ass. Let's go.
I'm gonna
give
you guys some players to think about who.
What do we get to say about them? Whatever
give
we
me
want.
what would constitute a success for them in week 1.
So these are our guys.
Our guys, what happens on Sunday, and you're like, you know what, great day. So a couple different kinds of guys. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
What constitutes?
No interceptions.
All right, you go ahead. Just no interceptions?
Just run it through just like that.
I'm going to be quick. In 2018, he was the first QB ever to throw for 400 yards,
Quick,
3
go back 3
consecutive
years.
weekends.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did those the first 3 weekends. So that would constitute
So 300 yards?
400.
400
He's
yards.
the first quarterback in the history of the NFL to throw for 400 yards in 3 consecutive weekends. In 2018, he did that week 1, 2, and 3.
400 yards.
This dude knows how to start a season hot.
Yeah.
I think for him is to get the win, and that's the whole team thing. But for him, he came here to be the quarterback of a winning team. I don't know what his stats are going to be week to week. I know he's going to throw interceptions. I know he's going to have high passing yard games, but he's going to be judged ultimately on the win-loss record of this team in his first year. So obviously, I want the team to win, but I think for Fitzpatrick to be successful, I mean, he's 39 years old. He's been judged on pretty much everything you can be judged on.
He's 38.
He'll be 39. Sorry, he's 38. Sorry, buddy.
November 24th.
You're still 38.
We're all invited. I got the email.
He's going to be judged on whether we win or lose, more so than any other player on our roster, and I think that's fair.
Yeah, well, he's the Washington football team quarterback, and this city has always talked about politics forever, and I think we're done. So now it's all about Fitzmagic, man.
Curtis Samuel.
I think if he plays 15 snaps.
All right, T.
Stay healthy. Yep.
So if he just emerges from the game healthy, we're talking about a huge success.
Well, he hasn't done a damn thing, so we don't know a damn thing.
Yeah.
And I know that he's a weapon, and we know he's an athlete and a freak.
Do you want to see him if he goes out there and pulls it again in the second play?
No, that would not be a success.
I mean, don't play him if that's going to be
they are worried right now. It's a possibility that he won't play. I mean, right now he was running around, so I think
that's why I said 15
because
snaps,
he will be. It is a 17-game season, and like you said, all it really matters is whether he's there for the last 6.
All right, so no setbacks on his injury status after 1 week of play.
And to get up in the mix. And he's such a weapon, man. You guys don't – his game speed is stupid. I don't know if we've seen it at the position that he's going to play.
But it would be unfair.
The position that he plays.
I think it would be unfair to put any sort of number on him either, too, because he hadn't even –
stat-wise, I don't care. Obviously, all I care about for him is that he's healthy and he's moving in the right direction. But I'm also desperate to see – Gibson and Samuel in the backfield with McLaurin and
Diami.
Name them. Yeah.
No, so we can have 4-4-4 guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
4-4-4 guys would be the four that you and we've never had 4-4-4 guys.
No, and you get Logan in that formation and 5 offensive linemen. So that's the formation I've been ever since we drafted Diami, because we already had signed Curtis. Then that's what I've been waiting for. Mm-hmm. Curtis starts in the backfield with Gibson, and then do whatever one of the million things you can do from that formation, and it's all good. So if we Curtis, for me,
do you know what a veteran in this league, whether you're Ryan Fitzpatrick or Tom Brady, you know what you can do when you have that speed, when you have that kind of weaponry? I mean,
when you know how to control
when you know how to play an NFL football game. Listen, guys, Ryan Fitzpatrick may be somewhat of a punchline at times because he's gone through so many teams. Sure. He has lasted in the NFL
for 100 years.
And there's a reason.
Yeah.
Give that guy some weapons, which he hasn't had on any team yet.
And make it his team randomly for 1 year to be like, oh, and by the way, we're not going to sign anyone or draft anybody. So
I hope everybody thinks.
Awesome.
I hope everybody thinks who's playing us comes in here thinking he's a joke.
Landon Collins.
I
do not get beat.
All right, no deep.
I'm going to tell you this: most physical man in the secondary in the NFL, arguably over a 5-year span. Yep. Most physical dude in the secondary in the NFL over a 5-year span. So, yes, don't get beat, but also beat that ass in the box and take care of business and get off the field with that fist up, because no one's got more tackles in the last 5 years on third down than that cat.
And he's going to have the opportunity to make tackles.
For a quarterback who knows that and can sell a play action fake, it's like...
We got other players now, but it's not just Landon back there. Yeah. We got dudes running around everywhere. Kendall Fuller,
you know
WJ3.
What? And that's more on the
boys,
coaches.
We got dogs. We got speed.
It's more on the coaches to put Landon in positions where he doesn't have to worry about anybody.
So watch that.
Right, well, with
watch
Kendall
that on Sunday.
And William Jackson Speed, yes.
Watch where he lines up.
Sure.
That's going to be one of the when you're watching him line up. See where he goes. See how far he walks up. See.
Good luck keeping track, by the way.
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Everywhere. So is Cam Curl. And they're going to be how they play them together.
That's what I'm going to be watching on defense.
McCain and the whole nine. That's going to be very interesting. A huge storyline, to be fair.
We'll rewind and watch Montez and Chase go to work, but first way through, I'm looking to see who's playing on the back level.
Please look at Chase and Montez, because they've got 4 new O-linemen and a new O-line coach. They're trying to reshuffle and retool and bring in and make better in week 1 and flying over.
That's another market.
I know. I have so many. That's why you got to gamble on the football team this weekend. 4 new O-linemen coming to town against Chase, Montez, and this crew. Come on, man.
Well, how does Vegas not know this, but you do through Google?
Because
Vegas is built on
the
keeping
idea
the
of
money
the
on
football
50-50.
team,
So wherever the money goes,
the Vegas has to make sure that
they're just
everything
evening
at
out
the
money.
end evens out. But Kevin is not an even guy.
No.
I have a huge head and skinny ankles. So
I've seen you fall over quite a bit.
Well,
If you ever
why
need
do
a
you think that
reason
happens
to
at
place
your
a lot of
house? I
money
fall up the steps at
at
your
a
house.
Vegas
I don't even
sports
fall
book,
down the steps.
you
I
heard
go
it
up the steps and down
here
at your
tonight in the
house.
basement.
Every Labor Day, it's weird
Jamin
how
Davis.
that happens. Now that's confounding to me because
What's going to be success for him? So I'll go first on this one. I want to see, regardless of stats, irregardless even, I thought that what he did in the preseason, I thought he looked a little lost coming out of the gate. We only had 3 games. It's not like he had a traditionally long set of preseason snaps like we've seen in the past. But in my uneducated, humble opinion, I think that trended the right way, and just that look I want to see. I want to see confidence. I thought he was on his heels. When you see a player on his heels and the game's kind of beating him to his own stance, I want to see him playing with with the field pointed forward a little bit for him, going in his direction, just a little bit more confidence. I mean, if he demonstrates that this early, I think it's a huge success for us.
Listening to how this is panning out, the way that the Chargers play offense, they're going to want to dump the ball off a little bit, get the ball in their backs, hands out of the backfield. I think this game is setting up for him to have a 10-plus tackle day because of his athleticism and his speed. If they want to try to get the ball in the back's hands, on dump-offs or whatever, his athleticism and his speed is going to be able to be a huge difference in this game. And it gets him 10 tackles.
And if their 4 new offensive linemen can't get to the second level, because at the end of the day, they're going to be trying to block our linebackers, and if they can't get past Payne, Allen, Ioannidis, Settle, the linebackers running free. I mean, obviously, that's what you want to see. You want to see linebackers running free if you're watching your team play. If they're not running free, that means the offensive line is getting to the second level. And Kevin already told us, new offensive line, new coach, one of the best defensive lines in the league. That should favor us. That should be Jamin. That should make Jamin Davis set up for success.
I'm going to say that I want to know what you mean by traditional length moving forward. Now, that's fair enough. We don't have to talk about that yet, but I will say that I want everyone to remember the chase. Remember the Chase Young. Last year at this time, he had a little situation with his hip. Week 1 and 2, everyone expected him to show up and just swallow the quarterback and the other team's offensive coordinator whole with both arms and have 10 sacks and 3 fumbles. And then the first 2 weeks, remember, everyone was starting to get a little tense. He's not doing it. He's not making it happen. Well, guess what? It's a long-ass season.
Yeah.
Let the fall unfold for Jamin Davis the same way some of us did and didn't for Chase Young after the first couple weeks
Don't get me wrong.
last year.
I don't expect him to get 10. I'm just saying that would be a huge success for
because
this
I
young
agree
man.
with both of you. He certainly looked like he was a step slow, like a rookie linebacker should in this league.
Yeah.
Being taught the right way. If they wanted him to look good in preseason, they'd have given him a couple responsibilities and told him to focus on the rest later. They didn't.
They gave him everything.
They specifically said, we're going to throw everything at you and teach you 3 positions at once. And I love that about what he's going to mean to us moving forward. Maybe not so much week 1, week 2. Everyone, stay patient with Jamin. Watch some of his highlights. We're going to see some lowlights. Let's not do the fanboy thing. Let's let him and his career unfold as a rookie, kind of the way Chase's did. It ain't going to come right out the gates. This young man has never done it right out the gates. He's always earned it, worked for it, and gotten there with feistiness, determination. And this dude got a college scholarship at 6'2", 190, boys. They knew that what type of guy they were getting at Kentucky, and they invested in him the same way we just invested in him. Let's wait for the returns to happen. They don't need to come week 1.
No, and again, I just want to establish it's not what I expect him to do.
I totally get
but
it.
if he can get to 10, he
can.
With his athleticism, if they think that they're going to dump it off the running backs and they're going to be fine and pick up 5 or 6 yards a try like that, it's not going to happen. And the success will not be just getting 10. It's going to go, I can do that at this level. Are you kidding me? That would be a huge success for Jamin Davis.
And let me say this real quick, T,
all right,
and Ken.
go ahead.
Joe Lombardi, Vince Lombardi's grandson, is the 50-year-old offensive coordinator and senior member of this staff. Now, 14 and 15, he was at Detroit as the offensive coordinator. For the last 4 years, he's been with Drew Brees. Before 14-15, he was with Drew Brees. Before that, since 2009. So this guy's been hitched up to Drew Brees. He was in Detroit for a couple bad years, back with Drew Brees, and he's trying to come in here. And if you don't think that he understands that the middle of this defense has a rookie in it, we're all wrong. Like I said,
That's why you'll
Vince
see Landon
Lombardi's
Collins
grandson, who, by the way,
walking
6
up
kids and
all
was
day.
born a year after Vince passed as the head coach of the Redskins. I just think that's another cool little thing that has to happen this weekend. Why not? We should give him a standing ovation,
Joe
the grandson
Lombardi.
of Vince Lombardi. I think that's cool as hell. But he's got his hands full. But he knows one thing. There's a rookie in the middle. And Austin Eckler running a little circle route or a little, I mean, how many times is Jamin Davis going to see a professional running back run a wide receiver route on his ass that he hadn't seen?
Austin Eckler is
Ever.
gonna have catches. I think.
Yeah.
Sam Cosmi.
I think he's going to be just fine.
I want to see, obviously,
They won't say his name. How about that?
That's-
They won't say his
That's
name.
how you grade it.
Success.
not saying his name.
Rookie lineman and an opener.
I think Morgan Moses gets a bad rap from some Washington fans, and not us. But
Not me. Kind of me.
But
I was.
if Cosby doesn't commit the same level of, if he doesn't go down the
If he
holding
doesn't
and
false start
road
once, that will be an
that'll be
absolutely
just
huge
giant.
upgrade.
don't base it on
gigantic.
false starts,
No,
but
no, I know.
Or you
Cosby's
could.
athleticism versus
Seemed like
Moses'
Moses did it
athleticism
quite a
is,
bit.
is me. Never mind. I'm not even going to get into
Just don't
it.
hurt the team.
Yeah.
You're right. Don't have your name called out.
Jackson, the third.
I mean, I guess it would be dumb to say don't have your name called out, but this dude's speed and his ability to be paired with Kendall Fuller and his speed and wisdom, we now have two cats that can guard anybody's two cats. So now we don't have to run anybody with anybody.
Right.
We've got 2 1As.
So the Mike Williams Keenan Allen duo is
Right.
above average in the NFL.
Oh, I agree.
So I mean, when I think of William Jackson, dressing for us, I'm looking for some hits and tackles. I think he'll have a chance to get his hands on Eckler coming out of the backfield with the ball. I'll be excited to see that. I love watching cornerbacks
He's
tackle.
looking for somebody to throw it his way.
I understand, and he's going to have that.
He hasn't had a Kendall Fuller.
He's going to see some
Yes.
balls.
Yes. He's
and
gonna
some
see
opportunities. I know.
he's gonna
I
see
know.
lots of
You gotta
balls.
choose-
And
you
old
gotta
balls.
choose
Dude,
one of
Keenan
them.
Allen's not a young spring
You
chicken.
gotta choose one
And
of them.
Mike Williams, I mean, he's like 6'4". I mean, there's
I
gonna
wanna
be
see physical.
6'4" balls.
Herbert's going to have to pick his battles. Which one is he going to go after?
Yeah. Yep. So I guess
I
for
love
me,
that.
Jackson, I want to see some physicality. But he's going to show it to us because he's a physical player, and I'm excited to see it.
Keenan Allen is a badass who's going to
Yeah.
produce. He's proven that forever.
Yeah.
He hasn't stopped. He's a badass.
One of the most prolific receivers in the league since he got here.
He's a superstar at what he does.
Yep.
He's going to get his. Let's limit it. Let's limit it what he gets. Let's
he
limit it from
doesn't-
8 for 130 to like 5 for 84.
If
And
he
we'll
doesn't,
be okay.
it won't be his fault. It's going to be because the front four are causing
yeah.
a
Yeah.
really bad day in the office
Yeah.
for Herbert.
But Keenan Allen is one of the best football players in this league and has been for an extended period of time. I love him as a football player. He's going to get his, guys. Let's make him not touchdowns, and let's make him not on third down.
I'm pretty sure that Robert Cohen's ringtone was false start, number 76. It was actually pretty amazing. Every single time someone called his phone.
The Cosme
It just
upgrade
seemed
over
like he
Morgan
screwed
Moses
up
is going to be.
lot.
However, for Morgan Moses was a warrior for us who played hurt and
was.
we love. I get it. When you say that about a guy, he was a warrior. He played hurt. How about we say Sam Cosme wrecked mother? Sam Cosme pushed the line for, and we got him for a while. So
Yep.
I promise you that Sam Cosme's career over the next 4 years will far outrank Morgan Moses over the last 4.
Only a couple more because we could just do this for the entire roster. But for me, these last two, I think are pretty relevant. I'm not without going to the obvious guys. J.D. Mckissick. So I think again, people sleep on who J.D. Mckissick is. He was this backup or second or third string, whatever you want to call it, running back on a 7-9 team that squeaked out of the NFC East. Did you know, people who like numbers, only one running back in the entire NFL had more catches than him last season? Name of Alvin Kamara had 83. Jason McKissick, JD had 80, I believe. And I believe, in addition to that, he had the most targets. He ran the most routes of any running back in the entire league, and he had well over 100 targets in total. First or second highest targeted running back. I think he was, for fantasy folks out there who are doing drafts tonight.
Smith throwing to him.
Sure, and Ryan Fitzpatrick probably.
And Dwayne Haskins was like, "What's up, JD?
What would be a better stat is how many years did Alex Smith led quarterback teams have a running back?
I know, but Alvin Kamara had Drew Brees. Drew Brees was throwing 100 times a game to Alvin Kamara.
But old ball Drew Brees, not like fresh ball Purdue Boilermaker balls.
Tomlinson
old balls on the brain.
Way early in his career. Did they play together for San Diego?
Who?
Brees and Tomlinson were they on the
Hell
same team?
yes.
I believe that he got a couple balls thrown his way from Drew Brees. J.D. McKissick to me is a producer. I don't think he's an afterthought in our offense, even which really speaks to luxury at this point in time. All I've been thinking about is Samuel, Gibson, Brown, McLaurin, but we still have one of the best pass catching running backs in the league right this very second. I think I'd love to see Antonio Gibson catch more balls. It'd be great if he's obviously a gifted receiver. But McKissick is going to fill the box score, I think, and in a way that I think matters. I think he could actually be a touchdown guy for us this year because of all the other guys.
He's never going to get that many targets or receptions because with Fitzpatrick in the mix, we understand he knows how to spread it.
He's going downfield.
Yeah, but
more.
But when he doesn't do that, the options are so plentiful right now. Logan Thomas and McKissick were our 1-2 punch last year when McLaurin was out or nicked up. Now you add McLaurin, Samuel, and Humphreys with De'Ami Brown. We didn't have any of those cats for a majority of the year last year. Or Ryan Fitzpatrick, who loved to chuck it down the field.
And Gibson was even hurt for a while.
Now you're talking about Gibson, McKissick, and Logan?
Yeah.
I mean, pick your poison, but Scott Turner's back in there he's juggling with a clown hand and his two regulars.
And he is, and his two regulars, and he is going downfield. T, you were hammer on the nail with the Alex Smith comment because if you look at J.D. McKissick's stats, you have to take that into account. That the quarterbacks we had last year were far more willing to check down low. One thing we just know about Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's 30. He's an old dog. He's not learning new tricks. He's going to look downfield. His beard is going to point in the direction, and it's always going. His beard's always pointing downfield, and he's going to take shots.
I think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But I think that's also because every team he's played on has been horrible.
Sure.
And throwing a check down isn't going to get them anywhere.
Nope.
When they know they're going to lose, or they're probably already losing at the time. Yep. I think he is going to be more likely playing in front for the majority of this season, in my opinion. And if that's the case, you don't need to hit your check down.
Or certainly
What's wrong with that?
in a game where you're
certainly
trying
smart enough to get
control
the
the clock.
I think situation is going to play a huge factor in how Ryan Fitzpatrick plays. I don't think he's going to be the, never give up on a play kind of guy when you're in the lead.
Also Rivera
or within striking distance.
I know, but Kevin,
after you're done, I just want.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. 30 passes over 30 yards last year in the NFL. Ryan Fitzpatrick had the highest completion percentage. Passes over 30 yards in the NFL last year. Curtis Samuel had the highest reception percentage. It's not all about analytics, but when they do come in, I'm sure Martin and Marty.
Those are targets that aren't going McKissick's way. Period.
These are things that are happening there while these other things can still continue to happen. We're going to be running offense at a higher level than we ever dreamed of as of 1 year ago. We all talked about this being the year.
But what T was saying is relevant because about situational football.
He's on a team that can go to the playoffs.
Ron Rivera had, I think, in a way that we didn't. And if you look back to the beginning of last season when we weren't that great and we finished 7-9, so whatever. But Ron Rivera, so he benches Haskins, he cuts Haskins. He does like some things early in the season where we're not necessarily showing ourselves to be a great team, right? And what was the conversation around that was, why wouldn't you? The average fan was like, well, why wouldn't you just let Dwayne Haskins play this season? Like, we're going to suck anyways. Might as well just let him go and see what you got. Why would you bench him? Why would you do this? Why would you go for 2 against the Giants early? What are you trying to do? And
he did that for the culture.
I just think he knew what team he had in a way that we all were hopeful about, but we didn't know. I think he's going to play ball this season on his strengths. And as awesome as we think our offense can be, our strength is defense. And he is going to lead with them all the way. And so, to me, that's where the J.D. McKissick thing comes back into play, because I think he's a productive player for us this year. And I think it matters, because I think he will be the guy who keeps the chains moving in a lot of situations in the middle of games between the 30s, say. When we have to count on our defense to make 13 points, or to make 17 to 21 points hold up.
Can I just tell you one more thing about our defense?
Yes, please. Like that.
Great pick by the LA Chargers. Rashawn Slater, number 13, left tackle, Northwestern. Montez and Chase, they're going to like rookie left tackles from Northwestern. I'm just going to tell you right now, Chase has gone up against Rashawn Slater.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the outcome was, but I can't imagine
You
that.
do. You know what it was.
I can't imagine it was like...
Mr. Slater might have some streaks in his.
And he's a good player, but how many streaks? Yes.
Yeah.
He's going to have a Montez followed by a Chase, I believe. Just, as one of 4 new O-linemen, just another thing to take a snack on.
Last one, and this is more of a theme or a thought about how the game will go as opposed to an individual player. So our defense is what's going to lead us. Our defense is who we are. That's our identity. Everything about what's going to get us anywhere this season is going to begin and end there, at least at this point in time. But I have a question about how we're going to play. What percentage of the time are we bringing more than 4? And I'm not trying to, you can throw out a number, what do you think? But my point really is, we know we can be effective rushing 4, first and foremost. The league it's a blitzing league. We're going to have guys coming from all the different ways. How dangerous are we going to be in that regard?
I don't know if I can give it a percentage, because it's all situational.
Just talk about it's not just situation. It's also who you are. You can have a blitzing identity.
You can. I don't know if we can make that determination right now. I think you're right. You want to put as much pressure on with 4 as you can.
Put your hand up.
Well, the crystal ball.
I hope we don't see very much pressure at all.
Mm-hmm.
At least
Right.
I'd like to see as much going 4 as we possibly can.
Sure.
Ken, to just side with T here, when Austin Eckler is your tailback, and that's not a guy that's just going to bury his nose in the pass pro. He's going to be a guy that you're going to have to make sure you can identify and be accounted for. That's going to be hard. You want to blitz, you got a hot Austin Eckler. Plus, listen, I know they got rid of Hunter Henry. Well, they didn't get rid of him. He just signed for $1 bazillion. But I believe they got Jared, what's his name? He's been our tight end in fantasy for eternity. Hot route shit. I believe second-year guys are going to be much accounted for in Austin Eckler. You don't really want to blitz these guys and then leave Austin Eckler to be accounted for by what I believe is the weakness of our defense, even though we have a ton of speed in Holcomb, Bostic, and Davis.
It's the middle level for sure. It still is.
So that's where we could get hurt. So I love us getting pressure with our front 4 and playing pressure defense with our 2 corners that we know can.
Yep.
With our badass safeties looking out for our linebackers with speed. I don't think we need to come after Justin Herbert and shake him. This dude's going to be an MVP candidate. He was the offensive rookie of the year. He's a talented fool. You love him.
Yep.
But
I really think he's a great player.
If it's 3rd and 9,
Have to.
but
This is the NFL.
If it's 3rd and 9,
Yes.
send 5, send
Yes.
6. Tell Jamin that
Sure.
Elkridge.
Sure.
He does. You go wherever he goes, because he has the ability to stick with him. That's when you can bring pressure, but it depends, because there's no hot route when you're at 3rd and 9.
Let's drill down. Let's drill down on that idea.
Elkridge is always up to no good.
One more step. So we rush 4. They're going to block 5. Maybe they'll chip every once in a while, but let's assume they're using 5 to block 4. Safe to say Chase is going to get that double, right? But
He's getting that chippy.
He's going to get the chippy.
At a minimum.
But I think what really makes the conversation more fascinating is that means on any given play, 3 of our 4 guys are going to have singled up opportunities. They're going to have a chance to win a one-on-one battle. Payne, Allen, Sweat, sometimes Chase, sometimes Ioannidis, sometimes Settle, and so that's kind of like where I was going next.
4 new linemen, rookie left tackle.
that's where I'm going here. So I love the idea of blitzing. I just do. But I know, based on simple math, that 3 of our 4 guys on most plays are going to be singled up. We're going to have one-on-one opportunity. And maybe there's a running back. Maybe, sometimes. But they're going to win a lot of those battles. And
I bet Slater's
crazy.
going, based upon past experience, I'm going to need some help this Saturday with Chase Young.
And Montez Sweat. And anyone else that wants
they're-
to show up playing outside here, because what
do
the
have
hell's happening?
They do have the gifted defensive, line themselves. They got a couple guys, and obviously they got Bosa. But
We haven't
They
said
got Bosa.
Bosa yet,
We got
but they
Sam.
lost Melvin. What's his name?
Well, the
Is it
running back.
Gordon.
Oh,
Is it
Melvin Graham.
Gordon.
Melvin Graham.
Graham.
Melvin Gordon's the running back.
Whatever it was, they had a badass defensive end forever. I thought it was Melvin Gordon. I don't know what the hell his name is. I know he's a
Gordon's running
Melvin.
back.
He's a badass, and he signed somewhere else. He was there forever, and they wanted to re-sign him, but Bosa is no longer the either Chase Young or Montez. He is now just the Bosa.
Yeah.
He's the only Bosa they got.
They're almost out of Bosa's.
And I mean, and he's
He's
kind of a
making
weird,
a shitload of money.
and he's a weird Bosa, but he's playing in a great place, and I don't think that we don't understand that they have a Bosa and no other Bosas on the D line anymore. There's no double jeopardy. And
Melvin Ingram.
Graham,
Ingram.
I know, but I said
Graham. I was
right,
wrong.
and I said
You
Gordon.
said Gordon.
I
Melvin
know, but
Gordon is
that butthole's been on someone's fantasy team for 115 years, getting like 3.1
injured
points.
reserve, suspended,
Nah.
holdout. The guy's like,
I hate those buttholes. Like
all
you
day.
think they're good football players,
Look
but
at
they're
you.
just
You're all about fantasy tonight. Look at
Oh, I
this
was
guy.
going to say, he was all about buttholes and old balls.
Well, buttholes and
And he
balls
said
too.
fantasy. But I don't appreciate you guys. Listen, you want me to tell you guys what I think you're all about?
No,
tonight?
no, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
fine.
As
Fair
long
enough.
I-nitis
as long as we're being
and
open
settle.
and honest, yeah.
Getting some love on the board. I like it.
Shit, yeah.
The I guess really where we'll close out here. I do want to get some game predictions from you guys, and this is a score. And you know what? Can I borrow your pen there? Cause this,
Yeah, but it's not working. And you
Your
promised
other
me.
pen isn't
you
working
promised
either.
me- I know none of my pens work. My family is trying to. It's a brigade against me. And when I said brigade
Hey,
against
Rhett.
me, we don't have to talk about brigade. But we're
you
doing
pass me
30
a pen
seconds
on
on
the
these
corner of that
terrible
desk?
names before we leave. I'm just saying. Say whatever you want, but you said we could, and we're doing it.
Oh! You know what? Of course, well, dude.
Yes,
what
the
do you
B-hole
think?
brigade is
I
coming
was just
strong.
going to say that. I was going to
Right.
get my pen.
Good.
So that we can
Good.
get some. Get
You're
some
going to do
votes.
predictions, and you wanted a pen for predictions, but
Yeah, pen for predictions, and
the board deserves this. We deserve this.
we're gonna do a
We've
name
talked
thing. We're
about
gonna
a
do the
ton
name
of
thing
crap.
now. All right, 8 names. Tiny Snyder put out 8 names today. These are the names. The future name of our team is on this list of names.
I don't like it.
Defenders. Let me see if I can name them all, Kevin.
Hold on, but you say it, we get a comment.
all right. Washington.
Offensive to the offense.
Washington Defenders.
Defenders is offensive to the offense.
It is offensive to the
So
offense.
I'm out.
Even though we are, a defensive team, but we got to be.
That's so short-sighted.
You got to score points.
It's an offensive
Proceed.
lead. It's an
He
offensive
got one.
lead.
He got one of the 8.
The
though, so Kenny gets a point
the
for that.
brigade, the Washington
the
brigade. Now, okay, here's why I like it. It's not pluralized. I think there's not enough sports teams that are pluralized, which will be a trivia question very
So
soon.
a lack of an S is why you
Yes.
enjoy it?
Yeah, that's different.
Sucks.
What is it?
It sucks.
there's a
What the hell
handful-
are you going to wear?
Sucks.
The brigade.
What's going to be on your hat?
A brigadier.
No, you're not a brigadier.
brig?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Brig Owens?
exactly. I think
Brig
you
Owens?
just answered your
Brig
own
Owens.
Is
question.
this about Brig
Oh,
Owens? 'Cause that
You just
changes it.
answered your own. It's ridiculous.
If it's not about Brig Owens,
No.
I'm out.
Brigade is just.
If it is
I
about
like
Brig Owens,
dumb.
I'm
I
in.
like names that aren't pluralized, but
Dumb.
I don't vote for brigade.
Dumb.
The Armada, the
Worse.
Washington Armada.
Oh,
Worse.
God.
You guys might be surprised to hear this.
What are we?
But I
What-
do
what
enjoy
is
a
this?
name that's not
Water
pluralized.
polo?
No, hold on.
How do we have all these
As
names
our
that are
armada
pluralized?
travels down the Potomac to the Anacostia, how do we?
With all the
That's so
Is that enough of
stupid.
an armada? I mean, I know
the
Riverboat
trash,
Ron. Bah,
the bodies, the
poo butt.
appliances,
It's poo
cigarette
butt
butts.
nasty.
There's no Armada.
No, there's
in
dead
Potomac.
bodies and
It's
gross
bad.
stuff
It's
in
never
there.
been it's never been a
So
place you
dumb.
would Armada.
Old,
Dumb,
like
dumb,
I think it's
dumb.
like
All three are
tobacco and
dumb.
The
what else was shipped?
Washington football team.
Eh,
That's on the
whatever.
list.
I'm actually gonna like
That's
that.
fine. Second.
You're gonna like it.
No, that's my number one so far.
Even if it's the number one, it's going to be my number
Number
two.
The
one.
Washington Red Wolves.
Not
I
so stupid.
I take a number 2 on it.
Like you said, why
This
put red?
thing and
Done with
wolves,
red.
like
I'm
If they
done
do
with
any
red.
red anything, then
Not red, but red. I'm done with
this whole
color
thing was
red.
just stupid.
the red wolves would be all right, but not the red.
What about the gray wolves? They're going to be really offended.
Yeah.
And the brown wolves and the black
That's just
wolves.
a red
and the-
wolf with old balls.
I mean, why would we just
You're right.
start alienating?
we don't want any of that.
all the other wolves.
It's like now you're leaning on Red Rocket.
Yeah, come on. Seriously, what's going on with you over here?
Come on, get the worst one out of there.
Red Hogs.
No, not yet. You got to go presidents first. Sorry, I'm
All
gonna
right,
interject
presidents. The Washington
here.
presidents.
The worst 2 names possible.
Washington
I
presidents
don't
and
care.
Washington Red Hogs.
If Ron Rivera would be the best president of the last decade, then you can't just.
I mean,
name
after
your
the
team
last
after
2
the
presidents
worst
we've
2
had,
jobs.
what the hell?
Exactly. I don't care where you line, but if you rooted for one of the last
That's
2
why I said the
presidents,
last
you're
2.
a dork.
Yeah.
And you don't want our team to be named that.
Good
so
Lord.
I hate them both, and let's keep it moving.
Red Hogs.
Hawks?
If they
Red Hogs.
if
Red
they dro-
Hogs?
if they drop
oh,
the
it's,
red.
It's real.
if they drop
there was
the
an
red-
actual name.
Hold on.
So here's the problem with that.
Red Hog sounds really dirty, by the way. I think that's already taken by copyright.
There's no way you can get
Probably.
away with it. So this is to me like when
There's
I
gotta
see
be a
this list,
redhogs.com,
how did
right?
Did
this
the Purple
name get
Hog
on the
folks,
list?
like, did they have a comment?
How
or-
did this name get on the list? This wasn't even like
Oh, no. This is like, who ran for Senate in Carolina? D's nuts, right?
okay.
And that's less offensive than Red Hog. Because
That actually makes
what's the first thing you guys think of if I
mean,
say,
you know-
I say Red Hog, you say,
There's all kinds of there's all kinds of colored hogs
Jesus.
out there.
I
So
know.
It's not it's not going to be.
think-
How
that.
about yours?
Just drop
What
red.
color is your hog?
Why do we have
Oh,
to? Why
no,
do we
that's
have
a
to?
question
Why do
that
we
has
have
to be
to?
asked.
Why do we have to do that?
I'm
though?
not saying you should answer it, or you shouldn't either.
We're all
but-
hogs.
Right.
You know.
Well-
we shouldn't be singled out.
Some are skinnier than others. Some are
hog's
less
a hog.
hoggy.
Incorporating hog in our name has been an effort by a huge part of our fan base for a
It
long
should be
time.
pigskins, but I don't know why that's never been.
It's never been.
I love pigskin, but hogskin sounds so gross.
You can't do hog skin.
I don't ever want to catch the hogskin at the game. Like,
No.
oh, did you hear Kevin caught the hogskin at the game? Like,
You don't want to
oh,
toss the hog skin.
Yeah, I'll be out in like,
The pork rind industry would
There's
go
no chance
crazy.
any
No.
part of our name is hog. I'm sorry to inform you all of this, which leaves I think the leading contender. Is that right?
hold on. A red hog is indigenous to Africa, and it's also called a bush pig. I don't know if that makes anything better,
It's not making it better at all.
but it's a bush pig.
That is a
It's
fact.
and by the way,
I've never known a
that's
hog.
true.
I've never
on
known a
both-
hog that wasn't a bush pig.
So it's starting to make more sense. It's a bush-
More reason why
That's
this
gotta
guy
get
never,
likes.
Fine.
That's got to get
never
likes.
happened.
Fine, bush pigger.
I
You
love to
anti-bush
see
pig.
a thumbs up from somebody on that. All right. Anyways, that leaves
No,
the winner.
No.
The
There's only two
Washington-
left. There's only one left.
Commanders.
And we always knew this is what it was
So
going to
dumb,
be.
So dumb.
But that's what it's going to be.
That's who we are, sir.
I think it's going to be the Commanders.
We're going to be the
I'm
Commanders.
convinced.
What the
You
hell is a
said this.
commander?
Ken and I have agreed, even though we don't agree on what we like about it, that this will be the name.
Yep, it will
Like
be.
we command you to lose to us.
We command you to pay attention when we change the name and get a new cool coach that changes everything, and you're commanded to
dumb.
now root for a team
I
that
don't know what
commands
our-
a W.
So dumb.
I know, man. I'm not backing it up.
You know what,
but
though? This is why this is
It's the least terrible.
our history as Washington sports fans has led me to believe, and since we lost the name
Yes.
Redskins, since we lost the name Bullets,
Wizard,
I
man.
now don't give an F what our name is anymore. I just don't.
if
I'm-
it's
I'm
out of that
done.
as long as it's not Wizard.
Just win. All I care about is if our team wins.
is true.
Can you just please win? I don't care what you call us.
Yeah,
We
man.
still kind of always refer to them as skins.
Yeah, I still call them the Bullets. Everyone, as well, you
Me
should.
too.
So yes, of course.
But out of those 8, I prefer Washington football team.
okay.
And if not, call them Red Hogs, and I will never use the red in my life. I'll just call them Hogs.
Okay.
I'm a
well,
Hogs
listen,
fan.
Honey, what are you doing? I'm just watching this watching the red
The Bush
Hogs.
Pigs are on.
Bush pigs are on, and Papa's watching his Bush pigs.
Shut up.
Got some Bush pigs on TV.
What color's your hog? Red.
Got some red hog.
Like, how do we, like, what's the,
This
like,
is it would. I just don't understand. Like, if you're gonna put a list of
The
8 names out,
social media
why
will
would you
have a
even put
field
that
day
on
with it.
there?
Right. What's
That's
our-
insane to me.
what's our Pacino any given Sunday red hog locker room moment from Rivera. Like,
Dude, there was
how
also
red is your hog? Bright red. How red is your hog? So red. It's burgundy.
Scarlet,
like everyone
scarlet
goes
red.
nuts. The burgundy hog.
There's so
should
many
be
other
way
hog
classier.
references they could have made for
That
a
actually
roster.
would class it up.
It would. I mean,
It
if you're going
ain't
to class up
happening.
your hog, you might as well not call it red.
I
A
don't
burgundy
disagree with
hog seems to be
I
like
agree.
a very
Red
sophisticated
should not
hog.
be involved at all.
I agree,
mean, I know that-
100%. Because red signifies like recently battered hog at some level.
It's like kind of
I
don't
sticking your
think so.
finger in the
No,
eye.
like
of
a hog
people
that's
that
just
made you get rid of it in the
competed
first
at
place.
a high level. Like that hog wasn't available for weeks, and now we're calling the hog into action. Like I want a hog that's always ready to go, not just a red hog, like a full-fledged hog mauler.
All right, we're going to come
I don't
back
know where we're going
with an
with this.
entire therapy session for all of you who have or going to be wondering about the hog mauler.
Well, it's too late to add that to the list, Ken.
Hog maulers
I
would have been
agree.
better than red hogs,
I agree. The hog maulers would have been
Hog
amazing.
maulers? That like that.
right? That's
Sounds
what I'm trying to say.
intimidating.
People need to be
Sounds
able
like
to.
something I don't know if I want to be a part of, but I do.
But you do. That and
I want to be like
t-shirt would
I want to be on the
amazing.
side of the hog maulers, not the people who have to go against the hog maulers.
Yeah,
because
but everyone's going to take
sounds
separate
bad.
sides, and it's equal opportunity
Equal
for everyone.
opportunity.
Like no one should be sad about hog mauler. Like,
No, but
Commander sounds like a made up name. It almost sounds like the Washington Generals.
I don't like being talked down
the
to.
same generals and commanders are somewhat synonymous militarily speaking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
well,
how-
if we could have had the Generals, it would have been the perfect one. We talked
I
about
know,
this,
we did,
man.
we did.
We can have the most famous losing team in
we
the history of
can't,
sport.
we can't just be like,
who-
hey,
who
who are
actually-
the generals playing?
They
this
reached
weekend?
out to the franchise last year and said, "You should sell your.
We'll
you
take
should
it.
buy this.
We'll sell it to
Get
you."
out of here, Generals."
All right, record predictions. T, what do you got? You get to go first.
Record?
No,
Sorry, score prediction.
Score
prediction. We already did records.
Score.
Yeah, I think we're gonna catch control of this game. I think we're gonna command it. I think we're gonna win.
Command? You think we're going to command
comfortably?
it?
And I actually brought this down a little bit. I'm gonna win comfortably, 27-17.
27-17 T's in. Kev?
I am going 34
Mm-hmm.
to 23. The Chargers are getting hog mauled.
That is
Hog mauled.
anyone who ever put 1 second behind
weird
making
is you had that
irregardless
written
word
down
needs to
before we started talking
rededicate their
about it.
efforts to making hog mauling acceptable in the Oxford Dictionary and the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Get to work on it, internet. The Washington football team this weekend beats the Los Angeles Chargers 37-20.
Here's the deal. The over-under is set at 44.5. Once again, Vegas has no idea that we got Fitzmagic coming out the gates, and this defense is good for a whole lot of field position. Dang.
And I think one of our
Vegas is
touchdowns
about to get
we give up will be
emasculated.
either defensive or special teams. I only think our
Weird. I
defense
put
gives
my
up 13
score right
points.
at 44. I didn't know that.
You're smart.
I know. Well, you know that by the end of the day, when the weekend's over, you'll be closer than we are because after 17 weeks, Vegas is pretty darn good.
Oh, yeah.
But opening day, I think the perfect crime is Vegas's inability to understand what's going on with the culture, what Rivera's done with the team, with the ability of young talent. I think jump early and get on that 8.5 before everyone figures this shit out. Because
Greg's in for
it's
24-17. Robert Cohen's in for 24-21. I don't see any others on here just quite yet.
I think we win comfortably.
Oh, there's one.
I feel like
Robert Cohen's in for 24-20. Obviously, all the guys got the good guys winning. AGH in for 21-17. Red, what's the score this weekend? 24-21, joining Robert Cohen with the 24-21.
Can I say my last three things real quick?
Yeah.
Chargers special teams is one of the worst special teams units in the NFL last year. Huge deal for the good guys. You got Derwin James has missed 27 of the last 32 games. He's their best player on defense besides Mr. Bosa. Who knows what he's doing. And Justin Herbert's private QB coach, none other than John Beck.
I'm a starter. I'm
Wow.
a starter. Hey, who's your starter?
Is he doing
John
Herbert's like financials?
I don't know.
Or is he actually helping them play?
I think he's doing a little bit of hog mauling, if you ask.
He's
if you
got
ask
a
my
great
opinion.
client. I mean,
He's got a great business going.
if Herbert's
If
your
you
guy,
want to lose to Rivera week 1, I mean, come on, dude. Bring a 38-year-old coach across the country to go up against Ron Rivera with a whole new game plan and a whole new this and a whole new that and a whole that without a defense like ours with the ability to get hog mauled. I'm just saying.
John Beck
It's going to be a good weekend
named
in town.
himself our starter.
Yeah.
And he started. It was amazing. I respect him for that.
His personal private quarterback coach and tutor, since he has
Got the right
signed
guy.
a professional contract, is a guy that stinks.
They grew up together.
But apparently he's a great coach.
Yeah. Well,
He's supposed to be really smart.
Yeah, that's great.
EO 1714, Ned
Yes.
2110. All right, guys. We will be back next Tuesday night to talk about the outcome, how the game actually went down. Obviously we already know, we don't have to watch, but we'll watch anyways. Greatest show on TV coming on Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock if you're in the Washington area. As your Washington football team hosts the Los Angeles Chargers, join us, won't you, in 1 week from now to break that down. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Let's get week 1 win. Come on. Let's get it done.
Kevin Ricka.
2 years ago, when we hired Ron Rivera, I said that this would be the most exciting week that we would have. 2 years ago, I didn't know all that crap would happen, and I said this would be what was up. It was time for him to do it because this NFL is not a long. There's no more 5-year windows. This is year 2. Ron Rivera. We're about to see something happen this weekend and for the rest of this season that we've all been waiting for a very long time. This is the best roster I've seen in forever, the best coaching staff I've seen in forever. I'm all in. FU Vegas. Hell yeah. Let's get it done starting this Sunday. I can't wait to see where you guys are all at and talk about it on Tuesday.
We'll see you in 7 days from now. Until then, on behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marigold. This was Thank God It's Tuesday. We are still live.
Those are the words of Joe Swanson. Let's do it.
I am so fired up for all of what's happening this week, and I cannot wait.
Let's do it.
This board is so ridiculous.